Hello ladies and gents, and welcome back to our very last week together. This video is for anyone who needs to take the final in-class essay or timed essay exam. You only have to take this exit essay if you did not pass the diagnostic essay with a score of 30 or higher. If you scored lower than 30, you have to take this essay in order to pass the class. Make sense? Our syllabus says you need at least a 60% in one timed writing exercise to pass the class. The diagnostic essay and the exit essay are our two opportunities to earn that score. So if you did not earn a 60%, which equates to 30 points or higher in the diagnostic essay, then you do have to take the final essay. And everything you need to be successful is right here. So if you click on the final essay prompt, we'll take you to a lovely Word document that loads slowly. This essay prompt is asking you to look at a reading from Henry David Thoreau. He wrote a book called Walden, and this is just a short excerpt of that book, just a couple pages, where he talks about civil disobedience, which is a really interesting concept. And in this case, he's talking about civil disobedience in the context of slavery, because he wrote this piece in 1846, which was almost 20 years before slavery was legally abolished. So people were still owning other people, which is absolutely insane. I could not wrap my brain around that. I cannot understand how you could think that was okay. Like, what kind of awful evil? Whatever. I'm going off on a tangent. Slavery is very bad. And Henry David Thoreau is talking about civil disobedience. He's telling people, just because the government says owning people is good does not mean that it is morally good, right? And so he talks about ethics. He talks about the difference between being a good person, like a good moral, ethical person, and a good citizen who is just somebody that follows rules. And so I want you to read what Henry David Thoreau was talking about in context of slavery, and then you are going to answer some of these questions. You have to answer 2 of the following questions. You have 2 hours to do it, so it should give you plenty of time. The first question, an excerpt from Civil Disobedience, Thoreau states that if I devote myself to other pursuits and contemplations, I must first see at least that I do not pursue them sitting upon another man's shoulders. I must get off him first, that he may pursue his contemplations too. So Thoreau is saying, don't use people as a ladder. Don't victimize other people to get what you want, because that's not a good thing to do. So what extent do you agree with this? What examples can you draw from your own experience? Things we've seen in politics maybe in the last 4 years. Other things like that are ensuring you're not sitting on another man's shoulders to get what you want. You're not victimizing people. You're not using people. You're not degrading other people to get yourself ahead. 2, Thoreau also argues that citizens should do the right thing by challenging unjust laws that exist. What does it mean to be a good citizen, and is it the same thing as being a good person? Thoreau draws a difference between these two things, talking about morals and ethics versus rule following. So if you want to answer question number 2, lots of really interesting ways you could do that. Number 3, how can a majority of one create change? How can one person make a difference in such a big, big world? Thoreau talks about that. Tell me your thoughts, using Thoreau as your source material. And 4, how does Thoreau's use of rhetorical questions contribute to the persuasiveness of his message? He asks a lot of questions and does not necessarily answer all of them. So rhetorical questions mean he's not going to give you an answer. You kind of have to figure it out yourself. So why is he making his reader figure things out? Why does that make him more persuasive? Unpack that here. And you do need to write an actual essay for this. Don't just answer the questions. I still need an essay format. So it needs to have an introduction where you talk about Walden and Henry David Thoreau and this piece on civil disobedience. Give some background, give some context, have a thesis statement. You gotta have a thesis for this. And then body paragraphs. Your body paragraphs can be answering a question. So I would highly recommend you use 1 body paragraph per question. And remember, you only have to answer 2. So 2 body paragraphs. And then a nicely fleshed out conclusion where you wrap everything up, maybe give people next steps, end with a strong closing argument. So you need to have a real full essay for this particular prompt. And you're going to be submitting that through the timed essay place the quizzes, you'll click on Exit Essay. The prompt is once again provided for you here. I have linked the article so you can download that. I would highly recommend reading the article before you start the quiz. So make sure you read through that, highlight it, find quotes you want to use, and then start your time, write your paper, submit it, and then you'll be done. Woohoo! It's exciting. And I'll get those graded by the end of the weekend. As always, if you have any questions, reach out. I'm here to help. And that is all the detail on the exit exam.